You've probably had an MRI scan, but have you ever wondered how doctors turn those crazy strong magnets into images of your insides? Today we're taking a look at the tech behind MRI machines and what happens to your body when you get scanned. MRI stands for magnetic resonance imaging, but it used to be called nuclear magnetic resonance imaging because it uses nuclear magnetic resonance. This is distinct from magnetic resonance, which is what you get when you put iron filings near a magnet. The main components of an MRI machine are a big magnet, a gradient magnet, a radio frequency coil, and a computer. The big magnet is what creates the strong magnetic field that aligns all the hydrogen atoms in your body. These are the ones that make nuclear magnetic resonance. You can't see these atoms with your eyes, but they everywhere in your body, and they what gives us the signal we need to make an image. The gradient magnet is used to focus the beam of radio waves into a small area so we can get a good signal from just one part of the body at a time. The radio frequency coil sends out radio waves at a specific frequency to excite the atoms and make them spin. When the radio waves are turned off, the atoms relax back into their normal state and release energy in the form of a signal. This is picked up by the coil and sent to the computer where it's turned into an image. But why do the atoms only give off signals when they hit with radio waves at just the right frequency? To answer that, we need to take a closer look at the atoms themselves. All the hydrogen atoms in our bodies are actually protons, the positively charged particles in the nucleus of a hydrogen atom. Protons have a particular resonant frequency. That's the frequency at which they absorb radio waves and then re-emit them. And this is unique to hydrogen. Other nuclei, like neutrons, don't have the same resonant frequency, so they won't give off the same signal. This is why we call this nuclear magnetic resonance. To identify a specific set of atoms, we need a really pure signal. But the atoms in your body aren't the only things emitting signals. There's also electrical interference from the hospital's equipment, motors, and nearby people, not to mention the 10 trillion bacteria in your gut. All of these would drown out the signal we're looking for if they were unfiltered out first. That's what the gradient magnet is for. It focuses the beam of radio waves down to a small area, so that we can get a clean signal from just one part of the body at a time. The computer then takes the signal and creates an image based on the intensity and the location of the signal. So it's really just a map of where the hydrogen atoms are inside your body. But there is more information hidden in the signal that can be used to create detailed images of your organs and tissues. For example, the signal from fat contains a lot of noise. This makes sense because fat cells are full of water molecules, which contain hydrogen, and water molecules move around a lot, bumping into each other and changing the exact resonant frequency of the protons. In fact, any movement will change the frequency a little bit. This is called the chemical shift. We can use this to measure the amount of fat in a particular area. Another thing that affects the signal is the local magnetic field. Remember how I said that the big magnet aligns all the hydrogen atoms? Well, it turns out that different tissues have different amounts of iron. Iron has unpaired electrons, which act like tiny magnets, and they mess with the alignment of the hydrogen atoms. This changes the resonant frequency of the protons. So by measuring the chemical shift, we can also measure how much iron is in a particular tissue, and since iron is associated with blood, this is how we can make images of blood vessels. Finally, temperature affects the signal too. Hotter atoms vibrate faster, which changes the resonant frequency. So by measuring the chemical shift, we can also measure the temperature of different parts of the body. Using all these tricks, doctors can get a lot of information from a single MRI scan. And while it's true that MRI scans don't show us the bones very well, there are ways around this. By taking pictures of the skeleton at the beginning and end of the scan and then aligning them with the internal organs, doctors can get a complete picture of the body. So next time you get an MRI, remember that it's not just a simple X-ray. It's a highly sophisticated medical test that can reveal a lot about the inner workings of your body. Speaking of sophisticated medical tests, we've made a whole video about EEGs, which is short for esophagogastroduodenoscopy. It's basically a camera that goes down your throat to look at your stomach and the first part of your small intestine. We talk about how doctors use tiny little alligator forceps to grab and remove polyps and how they cauterize things to stop bleeding. It's gross but fascinating stuff. Check it out.